Welcome. My name is Dimity and I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Psychological Science at the University of New England. I am in my final year and undertaking a Sports and Exercise Psychology unit. This unit has provided the necessary concepts and principles to take an athlete and provide them with the skills required to achieve any of their goals. Today's topic is about motivation. Now, some of you out there may have ideas on what motivation is. However, it can be defined as simple as the direction and intensity of one's efforts. That is, how well someone applies themselves to a task. In this video, I plan to explain the different types of motivation, how to build one's motivation, and how to apply one's motivation. Let's look at types of motivation. There are different approaches to motivation. It's not just based on one's dedication. There are other factors to look at. For instance, let's take me for an example. I have recently hurt my lower spine with a bulging disc. So I need to find the motivation to help me strengthen my lower back muscles and put that disc back where it belongs. First, we need to look at my personality and my characteristics. This is most commonly called trait-centered view. The trait-centered view provides insight into an athlete's needs and goals. And this personal insight will provide the athlete an understanding of what motivates them. For me, it's being able to walk, sit, and actually get myself out of bed without the help of another person. All very simple things, all very difficult when you can't bend down to even touch your knee. Some people have attributions which allow them to find the drive within to get them up and going and to achieve any goal they set out. But this isn't the case for everyone. So we look at other things that people need to do to help them increase their motivation. So, what else helps increase someone's motivation? Some people out there get motivation from the environment. That are certain situations. For instance, an athlete might be more motivated to win if there's competition, or an athlete might be more motivated to try harder if there's a prize at the end, essentially a goal. For me and my poor back, my motivation comes from my up-and-coming overseas trip, which I'd like to go on pain-free. So, with that, I need to find my goals to make me more motivated. Mine's an overseas trip. Someone's might be a prize, someone else just might be competition. We all work a little bit differently, but situations play a role in one person's motivation. The final approach to motivation is the interactional view, which is based not on trait-centered view or on situational-centered view, but on both of them mixed together. That is how they both interact with each other to achieve optimal motivation from the athlete. As mentioned before, I get my motivation from both. Essentially, my approach is the interactional view. It's important to understand that each person's motivation is influenced by different factors, and finding what motivates you may be very different to the next person. It all comes down to what works for you. Some people work better with competitiveness, some people do it for themselves. It's whatever works for you, but finding the optimal motivation is the key. So let's build your motivation. There are 5 guidelines to help you do this. Let's start with number 1. Consider both situations and traits in motivating people. We discussed this earlier. So we know that we need to look at a person's personality and characteristics and the situation in which they need to be motivated. Each one plays an important role and each one needs to be looked at. Number 2. Understand people's multiple motives for involvement. This is basically why someone wants to participate in sport and exercise. As I've mentioned, for me, I need to get better so I can sit, walk and stand, and I also need to get better so that I can go on my trip. These are the motives for me to want to be motivated. Some people like competition, some people like personal achievement, some work for goals, some work for money. Each is different, but if you understand what they need, you can help them. If you can understand what you need, you can help yourself. Number 3, change the environment to enhance motivation. Some people don't work well in group sports or exercises, yet they want to participate in them. This can be achieved by having the person work alone to begin with until they build up the confidence to work in a team. Essentially, a plan set in place to help this person can get them to enhance their motivation. You can also change the environment by making it more positive and offering reinforcement and rewards. Number 4, influence motivation. As a coach or a mentor or a participant, it's important to influence motivation, be positive, encourage participants to motivate each other, and camaraderie. It plays a big role in motivation. You need to work together, essentially be a team. That's how you'll get the best results. And finally, number 5, use behaviour modification to change a participant's undesirable motives. This is essentially implementing a plan to break bad habits, such as negativity, and implement good habits, such as positivity. Reinforcement and rewards are a necessity of behaviour modification, and this also links in with changing one's mindset from fixed to growth, pretty much from I can't to I can. These sort of things will help people be more motivated. It will help you be more motivated, and with motivation becomes achievement, and things that you set out to do get done. It's a great feeling. And with these 5 guidelines, you can build your motivation and achieve anything that you want. So, we know the types of motivation, we know how to build motivation, and now we're going to apply motivation. Goals. Goals are a huge part of motivation. Having something to work towards makes the hard task worthwhile and the small tasks fun. Your goals can be small, medium, or big. It doesn't matter. They are just there for you to achieve. It might sound silly, but setting yourself a goal for the end of the day, such as I will walk 10,000 steps, and then achieving that, it feels good. It releases good emotions. So set yourself a goal. Have a solid understanding of what motivates you or your athlete and work with it, not against it. Not everybody works well with competition, and not everybody works well within themselves. They need that extra push. So work with it. Sit down. Talk about it. Write it down. You'll know what motivates you. You'll know what gets you going. So set yourself some goals. Write down why you want to participate in a sport or compete in an activity, and reward yourself when you've done well. Stay positive and the results will happen. Thank you.